Climb into this 1970s Polish van and 29-year-old Rafal Patla will tell you about the history of Warsaw, a city which was devastated by the Nazis during World War II and then hidden behind the Iron Curtain until 1989.
Golden Terrace from 2010, 2005, and I made a park. Full space from... This is Palace of Culture and Science, gift of Uncle Stalin, a symbol of communist times in Warsaw, symbol of Soviet domination under our country.
A domination that ended 25 years ago when the Berlin Wall came down and the Iron Curtain was lifted. And in Warsaw, reminders of this Cold War period when Europe was divided are fading away. In their place, symbols of a country which has transformed itself into the EU's 6th biggest economy and is now a key player on Europe's political stage. It's a transformation which is beyond belief for those who participated in it.
It was like a dream, you know, because no one really believed that it can happen, such a kind of implosion, that the whole system is breaking down. People do not remember how it was 25 years ago, this grayness all over, people rushing around, nervous, suspicious. If you look at young people working here, they are all of them are born after. So you can try to explain for them, but are they able to understand really? I mean, if you have not been through it, it's really difficult to understand.
Filip Lepka was born after the collapse of communism. While he appreciates what his parents and grandparents lived through, for him, that period seems almost surreal.
As I heard many stories from my family, it's hard to imagine even that. Our generation is like a different world, like Alice in Wonderland.
But has this difficulty to understand how life was behind the Iron Curtain created a new sort of wall between generations? 33-year-old Tomasz Kiapala met his wife Marta while studying in France. Today they run a successful bespoke tailoring business in Poland.
I travel with my father sometimes, and the passport I have today, that I hold it and I'm proud of it, is that I can go wherever. I just came from Spain a couple of days ago, and it's the freedom. This is the main thing, the freedom of what I want, and I want to go somewhere. There's no limit for me, and this is the main thing that they experience. They cannot go anywhere. They couldn't go anywhere.
Poland's younger generation does enjoy more freedom than the previous one, but it comes at a certain price.
My generation expects less help from the government than the previous generation. For example, to get a flat, you couldn't go and buy an apartment just like that. You need permission to have it. And also in terms of job, I mean, if the previous generation, most of the people, when they got the job, they would rather stay with the job for their whole life, expecting the government they will take care of them after they retire, for example. Today, we know that's not going to happen.
30-year-old Kamil Sabulski is an entrepreneur who 5 years ago was listed amongst Poland's 7 richest young persons. He made his money creating start-up companies on the internet, and today has founded 4 universities to train would-be entrepreneurs.
I move all my companies from Poland to UK, to Thailand, to Zambia. I don't have any company here in Poland now because the market is too regulated. They go too far with regulations, so now young people in Poland don't have chance to compete with those entrepreneurs of those people who are on the market now, because the barrier, the border, the obstacles is too big.
Inside this abandoned factory is Warsaw's only private communist museum. It's the brainchild of the tour guide Rafal, who opened its doors last April. His aim? To show what daily life was like during the communist regime.
And the family photographs.
These visitors are cousins whose parents emigrated to England and Canada respectively. They're another generation, a generation of children of emigrants.
The reason I wanted to see this museum is because when I came back here, everything's modern. In Poland, it looks like Canada, you know.
Yeah.
When I saw the Communist Museum, I could see what it was like when I was growing up, what it was like here, and the difference. Going back to the 80s, 70s, and here, you see that there was a huge difference in our countries then, when they were communist. I mean, I couldn't imagine living like this.
Made by local artists from Warsaw. And I didn't tell you about this water soda machine, because this is the only one in
While
Poland.
Keith had never been to Poland before, Chris came once in 1970 with her mother to visit family. This shop reminds her of that visit.
They used to basically drink, there was lack of water.
I only had one memory, if you like, of I think it was queuing up at a butcher's shop, and there were long queues outside there. And I remember looking into the shop, and it was like this, like he said, you know, with the hooks, the empty hooks, it was empty. The shop was empty. What were they queuing for? It was empty.
Long queues, empty shops, and the brutal martial law crackdown on solidarity in 1981 are all memories of a time many Poles prefer to forget. But for some, there is a nostalgic side, a difficult period that brought people closer in their solidarity, and some of Poland's younger generation are determined to learn from previous ones.
My generation is the first generation for last 200 years that didn't fight for anything. 200 years. Every generation fought against something, against Bolsheviks, against Nazis, against communists, against Russians. Always we had to fight for our freedom. So now we are free, 25 years, but it's only 25 years. It's only one generation. Freedom is the thing that we can lose very fast, and we should really take care of it. That's why I think we should learn of our history.